Hi there and good morning. Today we're at Singapore's Changi Airport, one of the world's best airports, and we're flying one of the best airlines, Singapore Airlines, from Singapore down to Darwin in Australia. Please take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot. So it's a little after 6 a.m. in the morning and we're at Terminal 3. There are 3 terminals here and this is the most modern one. You can see it's absolutely stunning. Of course, it's not just chrome and glass that makes an airport a world best, but it does help. This is truly a beautiful terminal. Wide, spacious, high ceilings. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. Really nice terminal. Our airline status with United will give us a dedicated check-in area here and also access to the lounge, which is very nice, especially this time of the morning. Hopefully there's some nice food there. Check-in was really easy, no difficult questions. The associate was very friendly and no hassle whatsoever. Straight through immigration, also no issues. So straight into the lounge. So if you know Singapore, you know that they take their food very seriously. And they have an excellent range of food here, available for breakfast even. First up we have some steamed buns. I think these had roast pork inside of them. Pretty delicious, nice and fluffy. Then the classic har gow, the crystal shrimp dumplings, and siu mai. All very good quality as well. So there's a good range of Asian and Western food available. So whatever your tastes, there's vegetarian options as well. So plenty of different choices here in the lounge. The food offerings are being constantly replenished, so nothing gets stale and everything is fresh and tasty. One thing that Western visitors might find a little unusual if they're just transiting through Singapore, which of course is very common, is the idea of personal space is much less in Singapore and Asia than it would be in the West. So don't be freaked out. People stand a lot closer to you. So the reason I'm mentioning it here is because at a buffet is where you come across this the most, because I mean a number of times I just had people ducking in front of me to get something. So breakfast finished and a quick cup of coffee. Let's leave the lounge and go out to the gate. We did drop in quickly at this other lounge here on the right. It's not nearly as nice. Had some nice food options, but very, very crowded and just pretty small as well. Our gate today is A19. It's quite a long trek. There is a people mover, but they're also moving escalators, but it is a long way, so we better get cracking. If you're familiar with Singapore, you know that it's sometimes accused of being just one huge shopping mall. Well, that's no exception at the airport. The shops here just go on forever. That's interesting. T4. I didn't know there was a T4 at Changi. Must be new. Once we leave the main intersection areas, the number of shops goes down though. It doesn't feel so much like a shopping mall. not nearly so crowded here once we get to the actual gates. You'll see here on the left is the train that takes you down to the other end of the A gates, so a dedicated train as well as these moving escalators. I'm not actually sure what we call these moving walkways. Travelators, I think I've heard them called. Anyway, they finish about gate A14 and we need to walk our bags over this carpet, which is not much fun. I wish airports would not put down carpeted floors so that we can roll our bags properly. Once we get to the end of this walkway though, there's yet another security check. It looks like it's a separated area for specific flights. Nice area, but yet another security check. So all up, it took around 25 minutes to get from the lounge to our gate. Of that, at least 10 minutes was the extra security check. Really don't know why they do that. This is not our plane. It's the plane next door. Good morning.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Straight, right?
Good morning, welcome on board. Thank you.
Good morning, welcome aboard, sir.
Morning. As you can see, a totally hassle-free boarding, which is just wonderful. So we're settled in our seats for our 4.5-hour flight to Darwin. Of course, the shopping continues. Our plane today, a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Concerned? Nope, not anymore. So I find this a really interesting route. We take off from Singapore, which is 26 miles from the equator, and fly over the southern end of Borneo, Kalimantan in Indonesia, across East Timor and into Darwin. We're going from a equatorial tropical zone with lots and lots of clouds into the hot season in Darwin, where there's going to be no clouds, no rain, and temperatures around 40 degrees Celsius, 110, 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we're all aboard and it's time to push off to Darwin.
Cabin crew outdoor sailing approach check. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to the safety video. We should now be sure. Thank you.
Welcome aboard Singapore Airlines. As the safety equipment on this aircraft may differ from that of other aircraft, please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing. And on there are several emergency exits in this aircraft. Take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit, which may be behind you. Count the rows of seats to the closest exit, in front and behind. Place your hands on top of your head. Keep your feet flat on the floor and heels towards your seat. If you can't reach the seat in front of you, lower your head and lean forward.
It's a pretty long taxi to get out to the takeoff strip, but it does give us app geeks a chance to check out all the different aircraft types that Singapore Airlines has. You'll find everything from 737s through to the massive Airbus A380s.
Tablets are stored properly for takeoff. Thank you for your cooperation.
Singapore and the rest of Asia have seen a really rapid increase in the number of low-cost airlines, probably started by AirAsia, but Scoot is one of them, certainly not the best. Many people despise it, but anyway, they're good options for travelling around Asia with low-cost airlines. Okay, it's our turn now. We'll be taking off to the south, climbing over the Singapore harbour and check out all the ships waiting to berth in the harbour. This is a really busy port, Singapore port, so you get excellent views across it. And we'll be flying over Batam and heading down to the southeast. This is Batam, which is a quick ferry ride from Singapore, a weekend trip, very popular for golfing and excursions from Singapore. Very cheap because Indonesia is, the cost of living is much less than Singapore, and it's very popular with Singaporeans. A beautiful day for flying once we're up at altitude. Cloudy, of course, because we're in the equatorial zone. I discovered a new taste sensation. This has to be one of the best meals I've ever had on a plane. Fried carrot cake with prawns. Doesn't sound much, but absolutely delicious. With a nice spicy sambal. So about 90 minutes into the flight now, we've left the equatorial zone. This is just a map, but the clouds have gone and we're into the dry areas. So it's the dry season here, and just brilliant blue ocean everywhere. I really have to do some island hopping through this area someday. Another hour or so and we're over East Timor, or Timor-Leste as it's formerly known. This country is just starting to get on the radar for many YouTubers and travellers, and it's certainly on mine. I hope to get there in the near future. It's a fascinating country with a long history of Portuguese involvement, along with other Portuguese areas such as Macau. So a really interesting history. And after flying over East Timor, we're almost to Australia. So we start to get the biosecurity messages, etc. Of course, Australia takes the biosecurity very seriously. Blue ocean and blue skies for as far as you can see. A lot of oil rig traffic down there as well though. Northwest Gas Shelf is a very large hydrocarbon project. Some fantastic scenery as you're coming into Darwin. Lots of beaches and everything. But be wary, as the locals will tell you, there's no swimming around here because of the salties, saltwater crocodiles, which can get up to or over 4 metres, up around 16 feet, and definitely no swimming. You can certainly tell we're in the dry season up here in the top end. It looks like this ground has not had a drop of water for months. Very, very dry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. Please take care when opening the overhead compartments and remember to take all your belongings with you.
Looks like we don't have a jet bridge today at Darwin, so we'll have to deplane via the stairs. Should get a good view of the aircraft though as we get off. So that concludes our trip from Singapore to Darwin in the Northern Territory, Australia. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we have new content. Thank you very much. This all helps me out. Thank you.